What up, alchemists? Welcome to part 2 of the nested forms. Today we're going to go over deleting the nested addresses, and then we're going to go over adding those in dynamically. Alright, let's get started. We'll hop over here to our model for address. So to delete, I'm going to add in a field called delete. It's going to be a boolean, and it's going to be virtual. Alright, perfect. Then let's make this optional. Sweet. Now we need a way to delete that. So I'm going to come down in here and we're going to set delete action. Okay. Alright, let's define that function. Set delete action. The argument is the change set. We're going to grab the change out of the change set, because we only want to run this if the delete is present in our change set. So grab that key. Okay, and if so, then let's merge in the delete action. If we don't have it, then let's just return the change set unaltered. So now all that's left is to add this delete field to our form. Hop over here to the user form, and we'll pop this right into here. Class, form group. And we'll have a label. Call that label delete. Delete. And let's put our class on there. Control label. Sweet. Then let's do our checkbox here. So checkbox. And it's from the AF form for address form. And the key is delete. Close out that div. Awesome. Okay, to create our dynamic fields, add those address fields in here, let's first get a link going on our form here. So, link to address fields. That doesn't exist, so we'll have to create it. And we'll create that over in our user view. I'm going to alias a few things in here to make this easier. Nested user and address. Okay, let's define that function. Link to address fields, arity0. Alright, so I want to create a change set that has an empty address field and a single one that we can use as a template. So I'm going to create the change set so we can build that form data. So user change set. We'll give it a user. Oops. And user has an array of addresses. And we'll put in one empty address. And I forgot to wrap that. So, okay, that is wrapped. Now let's create our form data. So form equals Phoenix HTML form data. And we'll use the toForm function out of there. And pass that our change set that has the empty address in it and no options. Next, we need to use this form to generate our fields that we'll use as a template. So fields, let's render to string. That's going to take in the module, the view that we're going to use. And since we're going to use the user view, we'll just reference the module there. Let's name our template address fields HTML. And then let's assign that form we just created to F. And the last thing to do would be to actually return the link we want to create. We'll call it add address. And it's going to go to nothing since we'll be doing that with JavaScript. And I'm going to pass the template in as a data attribute. So data template and our fields. And let's give this an ID so that we can reference this easily in our JavaScript. Now let's create this address fields template for this to render out. And we're going to put it in the user folder under templates because we're calling it from the user nested view. And it'll be address fields HTML and EX. Let's close out that. And let's copy some stuff over from our user form. So we're just going to take all this. Put it in here. And since this is an assign now, we'll add the F to that. And then let's remove this delete, because we're not going to use that on the new one. We'll do something dynamic. Let's wrap the whole thing in a div so we can distinguish it as a new address. And let's complete out that div. Perfect. Let's see how this works. So we have our link there. It's now being rendered. And then let's view the page source here and see how our template is coming out. So you see our link, and it has the data template, and it has all the fields automatically generated from that form data. Sweet. We got all that. So next thing would be to do is to actually make this link, insert that into our DOM. So let's do that. I'm going to write this using jQuery, so let's install that first. Let me close this source page out. So I'm going to install Bower. Install Bower. And we'll use this to do package management. Okay, Bower's installed. And now let's install jQuery. Bower install jQuery. Download jQuery 2.14 and put it in there. And then the last thing we need to do is to tell the brunch to grab this. So we need a name. It's called nested. And the dependencies will be just jQuery 2.1. Close out my curly braces. Okay. And this will tell Brunch to grab this. So let's restart our server here and make sure that jQuery gets included. And you see Babel tried to compile it. It's too big. Great. So that means that we got jQuery up and going. Let's go over to Vim, our Emacs, and let's add our jQuery code to insert these dynamic fields. I'm just going to write this in the app.js file. Okay, so we got our document. And on click of our add address link, the function. And so let's prevent default first. Nothing happens when we click that link. And let's generate a time. We'll use this as a unique identifier for each of the fields we add. Get time. So we got that. And we probably want to spell that right if we want it to work. Okay. And next, let's grab our template out of this link we just clicked on. So this is the link from jQuery. We want the data, and the data is the template. Okay. And we probably want some like actual variable names. That'd be super helpful. Template. Got it. Now we want to replace the ID in there, and since we're throwing in an empty or an array with just a single address, that'll be 0. So let's massage this template and make it unique. So the first one is for all the names and stuff. Oops. So we'll take our template and let's replace, and then we'll do a little regex here. Let's replace all the bracket zeros with our with the time that we did. So it'll be unique identifier. Let's use some ES6 string interpolation. The future is now, and it is wonderful. And time. Sweet. Let's copy this over. And okay. And this time, let's replace all the underscore ones. Underscore. Okay. Do that globally, and then we just gotta edit this to have the underscores. All right, that should replace all the bracket zeros and the underscore zeros with our time to uniquely identify the address fields that we add in. And then the last thing we need to do is insert this into the DOM. So let's just put these after the link. Unique. Template. Okay. Let's make sure no typos. Let's check out how this works. Refresh our page and add address. Yahtzee. Okay, let's inspect one of these and see. Sure enough, it got our unique time, so it's not called 0. And so we're replacing these you have the underscore 0 and then the bracket 0. So we just replace those with underscore at the time on both of them. Sweet. Let's test this out. Let's add the home address back into Bob. Home 123 Bike Street. Zip. Submit. Edit. Great. Bob has all that in there. Last thing I want to do is, so if you notice when you add address, there's no delete. And so it would be handy if we were able to click a link and delete this. So let's go back in here and let's write the JavaScript first since we're already in here. Let's copy all this. Click. Let's just call it delete. Oop. Delete address. Okay, we got that. And then let's come down here and make sure that we prevent defaults. Don't need any of this. And this will remove the parent. So that would be that div that we created, the new address one, and remove. Next, let's add that to our template. Address fields. Address fields. Okay, let's throw this in right here. Link, remove to nothing. And then let's put the ID in that we got was delete address. Let's see how that works out. Refresh this page. And let's click add address. And we see there's a remove link. Click it. Deletes it from the DOM. That way people you can add a bunch. Oh, I added too many. Let's remove them. And that's it for dynamically adding these addresses to a nested form, deleting them. For your homework, what you could do is you could dry up and use the template for both these fields and these fields down there. What you want to do with that is you'll want to hide this, and then on your remove link, you'll set that value to 1. So that'll be checked. And then so any that are already generated, you can delete them. You would just, instead of deleting them, it would hide them, and then on the back end, it would delete them from the records. And then, but still on these, you can just remove those from the DOM, so those are not pushed across and then having to delete nothing. I got a lot of this code from a post by Jose Valim. I'll link that in the show notes so you guys can check out some of that. And then I'll also put in, I'll push this up to GitHub since there's a lot of code here. And you guys can come and check that out there if you need to reference anything. Thanks so much. Please subscribe if you like this, and I'll catch you guys next time.